Hello and welcome back to the channel. Let's take a break from the news today and discuss a topic which I think a lot of us will find interesting. Get some advice from expats about dating and finding a proper woman in the Philippines. We'll read the question, read some of the top answers and tips. At the end of the video, I'll tell you my personal thoughts on the topic. Here's the question. I've been dating a woman recently. I need a change. I found out many bad things that I can't take. Where do I look for a good single woman in Valencia or Dumaguete for a life partner? I'm new here, 8 months expat. Okay, so somebody needs some advice on relationships. Actually, right now I'm on this beautiful beach, if you haven't noticed, of course, right? But I'm here on a Sunday afternoon, getting in touch with my nature side. Let's go ahead and read some of the top comments. Someone says, usually when you work on yourself and stop searching, a good one finds you. Active dating scenes are usually trash almost any country you're in. Work on yourself, make friends with good people, with good families. Surround yourself with type of people you want to be around, the ones you like to spend time with, and eventually they'll try to push you to date one of their family members or friends. Most of the people I know out here that are dating someone solid found their person that way. Otherwise, you're just taking a gamble with whatever you swipe right on or left. I don't know how dating apps work. I think it's funny how this guy pretends like he doesn't know how dating apps work. But anyways, all jokes aside, yeah, dating apps can be a hit or miss, and that's a perfect way to actually meet someone that you have similar things in common. Anything that you're into, like pickleball, hiking, swimming, scuba diving, you're bound to meet somebody that fits your wants and requirements, and hopefully they get to know you as the person that you are and not just a face on a dating app. Another person says, you're learning what a lot of long-term expats advise newbies to the Philippines. Don't fall in love for at least a year living in the Philippines. It takes that long to really start to understand the culture and realities of living in the Philippines. Even if you've visited the Philippines many times in the past, there are literally millions of Filipina fish in the Philippine Sea for foreigners to catch. Take your time and don't rush into relationships. Explore your options and let them pursue you. Great advice once again. Regardless of how many times you've been to the Philippines on a vacation, a couple weeks or a month is not enough to kind of understand the dynamics, the relationship, the family, the culture. There's a lot of things involved when dating somebody from a different country, right? So I think that's a wonderful tip to not rush into anything. Give yourself some time. Maybe, of course, date and like meet people, but don't commit to something solid unless you really get to know somebody. And I personally think you need to at least a few weeks, if not a month or longer, to actually know not just the positives, but some things that might annoy you or pet peeves of somebody. But you got to understand and see if that's enough for them to stick around. Do the pros outweigh the cons? There's a lot of things to consider when you want to be in a committed relationship with somebody. If you feel a desperate need for a partner, it might be coming from loneliness or not having a solid social circle yet. Focus on building connections and friendships first. Join local groups, meet people through hobbies, or even just explore the area, talk to people. Once you fill those gaps, the feelings of desperation will ease and you'll be in a better place to connect with someone for the right reasons, not just to fill a void. Another excellent point, right? Sometimes when you go to a new country, if you're by yourself, you do feel that little bit of loneliness. You want to make friends, and it's that line between companionship, friendship kind of blurs. And maybe you just need someone to talk to, connect with, and have a social circle first before you start to date somebody, because you can have friends without being romantic. So that's a great tip, I think, as well. Someone else said, first rule, if they ask for money, no matter the case, run. She's looking for a sugar daddy. Second rule, don't start offering money. You can't buy love. Third rule, you don't just marry a Filipino, you marry her family, except to pay for big occasion. I have the most beautiful, wonderful, and dedicated Filipino wife of 11 years. I'm very lucky. Great, somebody's found love in the Philippines for the past 11 years. I think by now we should all know that never send money to somebody you never met. Also, if somebody's asking you for money initially at the start of a relationship, that should be a red flag. No one that just got to know you for just the past few days or weeks should be asking you for money, and you're setting yourself up for failure in the future because you're setting expectations for that person to always come to you financially. Now, I'm not saying don't go ahead and support your partner, but I'm saying initially. Another person says, in general, I always suggest Facebook groups and just dropping into DMs directly. Easier to filter people on Facebook. You can see their profiles to get a good idea who they are, and you can talk before meeting in person. Text-based communication makes people open up more and less nosebleed, I want to say, for Filipinos who are shy at times to speak English, since in general, no matter how good they are, they don't think they are good at English. Apparently, I'm not good at English either. But I would highly disagree with that comment. First of all, it's kind of creepy to drop in people's DMs, at least these days. And anybody accepting you, talking to them randomly, I think it's a little desperate too. So you're kind of like, you're both desperate at that point. So maybe that's a good sign, but I personally wouldn't just randomly message somebody because I think they're pretty. And a lot of people have fake profiles. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I think it's just maybe not a good starting point. I think if you ask most women that are somewhat normal and stable, would say any man dropping into the DMs is kind of creepy, unless the guy is very attractive and wealthy and all that. But then again, that person would not be dropping into random people's DMs. They probably have somebody. So I would not do that, but let me know. What do you guys think? Do you think that's good to just randomly message women? I'm not saying you shouldn't in a case like if you're in a group or something and you start a conversation that way, but to just message a random woman in a random city you never met to say, hey, I think you're pretty, I think maybe it's that, a little weird. It's better off just walking to a random person in person on the street and saying hello than just, anyways. And let me know. I'm curious what you guys think. Someone says, speaking of scams, my first fiance was one of the best scammers in the Philippines. She played on my vulnerabilities and neediness for love and companionship. Okay, read me like a book, only lost about 8K compared to her last husband who lost 1 million. Yeah, so I'm not even going to comment on that because scams by now, I feel like everybody should be aware of them. There are countless videos on YouTube telling people what to watch out for, red flags, money this, money that, people asking for, help here and there. So I'm not going to get into any of that. But my personal advice would be on finding a proper Filipina is to generally get off like dating sites. Of course, there's some love stories, some, once in a while, one in a million, and one in 100,000 successful relationships. If you're in the Philippines, start by approaching regular people within your circle of peoples. If you're abroad, I would say don't look for a person, but look for a place that you want to visit and maybe live, and then kind of work backwards from there and talk to women who are in that area or that city. Because if things don't work out, at least you have something else to go ahead and be looking forward to and find a proper life for yourself. But yeah, I thought it was kind of good to see some other tips and advice when it comes to dating and finding a good partner. Not just my personal opinion, but some expats that have been in the Philippines for a long time that have successful relationships. Anything, if you are in a relationship with a Filipina, leave your comments down below. If you're in a long distance relationship, tell me what's good, what's not good, any hardships you're experiencing. And if you're actually a Filipina or Filipino yourself, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this beautiful beach behind me. I got my coffee. I see a horse. I usually don't ride horses, but there's some parasailing or kite flying or some nonsense behind me. I might see how much that is, but I don't know if I want to risk my life in Asia trying to fly a kite or be flown by a kite. Anyways, see you guys next time. Bye. How'd that deal? 3 minutes, that one?
Wow.
Talking about. Man, that guy's running pretty fast. Besides, it's like you and me if we don't something. Don't laugh, it's true. Anything that happened overnight? No.
No, you know what happened?